Hi everybody, I'm Joe Paul and I'm an indie author, and today I'm going to be answering your questions on the channel. I basically get about 10 questions from people on my social media sites and I answer them here. So here we go. Number 1, what is your favourite part about being a writer? I think it's the fact that I get to create from nothing and the fact that I get to make stuff up for a living. I've always been someone who enjoyed telling stories, and this just means I get to do it in a legitimate job. Number 2, what attracted you to your chosen genre? When I first started writing, I was more focused on crime and mystery stroke paranormal, and what really attracted it to me was I like crime books and it made sense to me to write in something that I enjoyed. My first book was more of a psychological thriller mystery than crime itself, but that was the idea that I had, and it seemed to work for me. As I've branched out as a writer, I've branched into other genres, and I don't really have one genre now that I stick to. Number 3, how do you stay so positive and upbeat? I'm positive and upbeat on social media, but I'm not always positive and upbeat in life itself. A lot of the time I'm showing my best side rather than showing how I'm feeling. There are some times when I will go into detail about what's going on in my life and how that makes me feel and all that lot, but I don't generally do it on public social media because I don't think it's something that you guys really want to talk about. Is my day-to-day boring life and what I need to do with it and all the problems that I'm having, etc. So I am positive and upbeat, but I'm not always positive and upbeat. Number 4, what's the biggest tip you can give someone writing a disabled character? Research. There are so many different ways to write a disabled character. There are so many different disabilities that you can write. There are so many different tropes to avoid, and there's so many different things to think about when creating a disabled character that I wouldn't want to narrow it down to just one tip. My biggest tip is research, is talking to people with disabilities, if possible someone with the disability you want to write. And if all else fails, then getting a sensitivity reader, because they will be able to tell you your pitfalls, where you're messing up, where you're not messing up, where you're doing good, and just research and talk to people and see what happens into the day-to-day life of that disability. Number 5, what gave you your first idea? My first idea that I published and wrote was one that I'd had since I was a teen. And it was one that I'd sort of like been brewing over, so that when I actually got down to write it on the page, I wrote it really fast, and I ended up finishing it so quickly, and then it went through edits and lots of edits and revisions, etc. But I had that idea for a good few years before I even put it down to write. And what gave me the idea, it's Blackout, so if you haven't read it, it involves a teenage girl waking up and realizing that everything she remembers about her life has been a dream she had while she was in a coma. So for me, that idea came from not just having medical issues myself, but also just the idea of what would it be like to wake up and realize that your life is a dream and all of that goes with it. Number 6, have you ever had a project that seemed better put off when you had more skill? Yes and no. I've had projects that I've decided I'm not wanting to write right now, and that could be to do with skill, or it could just be to do with the idea themselves. The original Lynn Hope plot was a lot different to what it is now, but then I ended up using the majority of that plot for Destination Unknown. So I guess I have put off ideas thinking that when I write this, I want to know the story better and I want to be able to do it justice. But it wasn't a conscious choice of I'm going to do this when I have more skills, so I don't really know. Number 7, do you write every day and do you find it helps you write better? No, I don't. I generally write in chunks of 4, but I have a routine in such that I've created a habit, so that if I'm not writing, it feels weird. That's not a bad thing. It's good to have that habit. It's good to have that idea that you're going to keep writing, and that you've set this idea that your body is ready to write at a certain time in a certain place. But I don't write every day. I know that a lot of the advice is to write every day and sit down and bang out however many words you want to bang out every day, and that's not bad advice. I just don't think it applies to everybody. I personally couldn't write every day because I have other things going on and I have health conditions and stuff like that, and I don't think it's healthy to work yourself every single day of every week, of every month, of every year. You need time off. You're human. It's called self-care. Number 8, is there anything you change about the way your career has gone? I might have changed which book I debuted with. At the time, Black Up I felt was my strongest book. So when the offer of publication came, I wanted to go with the strongest. But obviously, because I've been writing for a number of years and because I've been publishing for a number of years, the books I've written afterwards I feel are better in the fact that my writing has grown. So I don't know whether I would change the debut or whether I would keep it the same and just focus on honing my craft, or whether I would have put it off until I had honed my craft a lot more. It's really not an option, so I just basically feel like I could have done things better, but I didn't, and now that I've got the skill to do so, maybe that would be better than catching up the way I am, because even though I have a huge backlog of books, I am still very much a small fish, and I'm okay with that. But I feel like if I'd gone about things differently, maybe I wouldn't be. Number 9. What kind of books do you like to read? Pretty much everything and anything. I will read something that, as long as the back of the book catches my eye, and the cover sometimes, but I'm not generally a judge a book by cover kind of person. If the blurb tells me that it's going to be a book I'm going to enjoy, then I will pick it up and I will give it a go. That's never really steered me wrong. I have had some doozies. I've had some books I've read that I've kind of thought, why? But that's more to do with the writing itself and the book itself and the subject itself, rather than the individual genre. I do read a lot of crime. I do sometimes delve into romance. I do sometimes delve into dystopian. I read some young adult, some adult. I don't generally seem to distinguish between which is which, but I find that the more I read is crime mysteries, just because that's the kind of thing that I really enjoy and it's what I enjoy writing. But I do branch out into other genres, and I kind of recommend that other authors do as well, that you don't stay within your chosen genre when reading, if possible. Yeah, it just gives you a broader scope. I know that it's not possible for everybody, so that's completely okay. And number 10, have you ever felt like giving up writing? I think when you've been writing as long as I have, and when you've been in the field as long as I have, there are times when you sort of kind of think, I wish I didn't do this for a living. But they're moments. They're not like periods of long time. They're moments. And generally speaking, I don't ignore those moments. I just don't focus on them. And so basically, I have felt like giving up writing. I've had bad mental health days. I've had moments when it feels like nothing I do is good enough, and I have struggled to stay on target, and I've struggled to stay writing. But at the end of the day, writing is something that gives me a lot of joy. It's something that gives me passion, and it's something that I very much feel that I'm meant to do. So I keep going, even on those hard days. But yes, there have been days when I felt like, okay, I'm done. And bonus, do you have a street team, and how do I join? I do have a street team. It's not very big, but I have a street team. So if you want to join, I will put a Google Forms in the link below, and I'll get back to you. So those are my 11 questions, and those are all the answers to them. If you ever have a question for me, feel free to submit it at any of my social media, which is all linked in the description below, and I'll probably answer it either on a video like this or in a comment or something like that. So that's all I have time for today. If you want to support my channel, you can comment or subscribe. I post new videos on Thursdays. You can find me all over social media, and my books are available everywhere. Talking of books, you can now pre-order Dying Thoughts 7th Death for 99p at the link below. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep writing. Bye.